Yeah, that's me. I do there is no one way to be a lesbian. There's no one way to be queer. There's no one way to be anything. Really, the opportunities are endless, and I think that part of the work that I do is to show that we shouldn't be putting those extra constraints on ourselves because it's already hard enough to just be out there. So. But there's value in that. There's value in just making yourself known and trying to create a following with, you putting your identity out there.
Can I say something to that before the starts going again?
I'm going to say something to that. Like, I just wanted to point out how radical it is for all of us to just be sitting here and also be making videos. Like, it's so huge to just kind of put yourself up out there and just kind of like release your content into the world, knowing that there are a lot of people who don't feel that way, and also there are a lot of haters. There are a lot of people who come and say like the worst, terrifying, harmful, just ugly stuff. And so I think it's a very radical act as, all of us to just kind of be out there, releasing videos and just saying like, hey, I don't know if anyone will like vibe with this at all, but I'm willing to do it. And I am confident in the content that I'm creating, and I'm going to continue to do it consistently. So I wanted to just kind of give a little round of applause to everybody here. So my next question is, this is actually a question I have for the audience, and a question I have for the panelists here. What role did you two play in defining or shaping your sexual identity? All the roles, every single role. You should elaborate on that.
I'm from a small town in Canada, a very, very, very small town, conservative, small town where there's not really any representation, there's not a lot of discussion on anything but conservative religion. So finding YouTube and finding representation, finding conversations about sexuality, finding conversations about mental health, gave me a safe space, right? It gave me a community, finally. And I think that's so beautiful about YouTube, and that's how it didn't shape me in terms of it, like, gave me my identity. It let me know that my identity was okay. It let me know that there were other people. It let me know there were other people who understood. So I wouldn't say it necessarily shaped my identity specifically, but it definitely shaped my comfort level with myself and just who I am as a person.
There's a mic right there. I wonder if we can make it.
There's a mic right here. There's a mic right there.
Where am I going? Okay, hold on.
Go. Who's not sexy?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. People want to raise their hands if they want to. Well, I mean, we can go like about the thing that we're talking about right now, like with the whole how did YouTube, impact that.
Did anybody in the audience have a question? Ooh, look at that.
Up in the front. That was really cute.
Oh, I hate it.
Okay.
I'm Danielle, and actually it was the person that introduced me to the word pansexual, and it felt like hearing my name again for the very first time. It was one of those things that just like hit me in a spot that I had never known existed or had any kind of verbiage for it. And for the growth and journey that's happened after that, like I have my first girlfriend now, and it's one of those like ever evolving scenarios of understanding yourself. And I feel like I'm a little late to the game in terms of like how old I am and actualizing on those feelings and on those struggles that we all seem to have and have championed in some way or another, or for persons who are younger who haven't gotten to that place. So, for me, I want to say thank you so much to every single one of you for giving grace and for giving confidence to those of us who didn't know we needed it until we heard those things for the very first time. I know that for Ashley and I personally, I got to collab with her on a video with my art for grace and engagement, and having art being appreciated in an LGBT space, in a queer space, is so amazing. And I just think it's going to be exciting to see how they and we as new and up and coming people continue to push this community to a more accepted space. It's fun.
a very young age, and then finding, sex positive or educational YouTubers, and then kind of branching out over into like the LGBT educational YouTubers, and then finding this whole, community and this whole world that really changed my world and led me to understand myself better and understand that I could be something other than straight and cis, and that really made my life what it is now, which is amazing.
YouTube crush? Pass.
So like my first YouTube crush was Joey Graceffa.
Oh.
I was like, oh my god, he's so adorable.
Mine was Hannah Hart.
Right.
Same.
Not so much of a physical crush, more because he inspired me so much. I don't actually know if anyone in this room knows who he is. Jake Edwards. Jake Edwards. Oh, yes. He actually is, like, he's inspired me so much because it's a big part of my life. I have a quote from him tattooed on my body. So, yeah.
Knowing her personally, true. I am in love with Abby. I'm not in love with you, I don't know if you guys know, right? Okay. Oh, you guys stand up because it's hard to figure out where. Yeah. Okay, hi.
Hi, Ari. You were my first.
I ship it.
This is gonna show up on my page, but it's gonna show my YouTube page, but hey, grenade actually. But my biggest right now is Lily saying, because she's just like. Actually, same. I thought maybe last night I was Lily. Yeah. Shannon Beveridge. There's two of them right here.
My first was Lily Clark. She is about her identity.
So, my first, again, not so much a little bit of crush, but mostly because they remind me as a kid to be me and laugh for Nick Ken, Samuel Wade, and Nick was over
My first was Mitchell Davis. I was like 11 and I was just like, really awkward to put Caitlin on. I know. This is like Match.com. Okay, so I think now we should take a few questions from the crowd. Her hand went up immediately. Yeah, let's take some questions from the audience. If you guys have some. Okay, so I'm quite queer and I'm kind of like you're reclaiming the word, and it's like, yeah, that's cool, but also it's like my identity. I'm wondering, like, what do you guys think about how political it kind of is, versus like how it's also just like identity? Okay. And like how that like for me it's just my identity, and yeah, it's pretty cool that like we can reclaim it. But like, what's your opinion on like how political it is versus like just being an identity? Does that make sense? And do you guys get that?
Yeah. The question is, how politically charged is reclaiming, would you say? Question mark? Yeah.
And does it have to be political?
Yeah.
And my immediate reaction is just you existing, your existence is not political. You just are. And if that's all it is for you, then that's beautiful too. It doesn't have to be a statement. You don't have to get up and shout from the rooftops and fight every battle. Because you just are.
Or it can be super political. So I have a day job that I will not disclose, but I work with like soccer moms all the time. And I would just throw around queer with a super political agenda because it throws them off. And they're just so confused. And I'm like, yeah, that's right, you're really uncomfortable. And I'm okay with it, and I'm going to teach you. But I also agree with Elena. And part of me does have a very like unpolitical just identity connection to the word queer, which is why I use it. So it's really up to how you feel personally about it. I think it can be really political or it cannot be political. It's up to you. You own the label. The label does not own you.
Ritual recognition of the term was very political because queer was originally reclaimed by Queer Nation, which was an HIV/AIDS activist group founded in the 80s to combat homophobia and AIDS activism, and that sort of started like queer theory, which is a very political thing about how queer is a less confining term, some thought, than because they are lesbian. So what I'm talking about is this exact tone or meaning. Always have it listed. I think that you can identify as queer in a very political sense, or you can identify as queer in a non-political. Although there will be some people who always see any LGBT identity as being political. But you don't have to be married. That's not
Just kind of looking at this. I use a lot of terms interchangeably. I use lesbian, I use queer, I use a lot of things, and none of them ever felt like home. Like nothing really feels like home. Anything that feels like home is human and alright. Like that's it. So I thank you. I think in the day it's really easy for us to kind of get kind of overwhelmed and finding our place and finding our like ways of identifying and finding our spaces as well. And I think that the thing that's helped me a lot is just knowing that I'm just out here trying to make cool shit and have fun, you know what I mean? And like I define myself as alright first and everything else later. So queer I use it sometimes, lesbian I use it sometimes, it all depends on the audience, but I know when I say those things, I know what my real home is. And my real home is my name, that's it.
I know that when I started kind of learning about the different like terms and labels and all of that, it made me question if I was actually a lesbian. Because like, I knew I was, but like, because for some of them there's such like a fine line, there's like a very small difference between some of the terms. And so I would like wake up and was like, okay, I'm gay, but I saw that guy and I like his shoes. What does that mean? You know what I mean? So it's almost like, am I gay enough? Like, am I lesbian enough? Like, I don't feel like I'm doing enough. Yeah, and it's, at the end of the day, it's just like, no, we need to line up. Yeah, exactly. Any other questions?
So, I mean, I'm glad you guys started talking about labels because labels are something that like I struggle with all the time. In the sense that, are they helping people identify? Is it sort of building up walls within the community and like dividing us? And on a personal level, like, you can spend so much time stressing out about what
it's for you and the labels are for everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're the Let me elaborate. So yeah, I feel like labels are to almost kind of help you find other people who are like you, find other people who you may be attracted to, help you kind of categorize people, and it's just for placement, you know what I mean? But I feel like however you feel, whatever you're attracted to, whatever you're not attracted to, that's just for you, you know what I mean? And you don't ever feel like you have to fit into some, even though I'm sure there's one, but don't ever feel like you have to fit in one definition.
And you can change your label.
Contracts, like you can get out of it and
You can go back. Are there rollovers? There are rollovers. There's shit that rollovers.
I think that the times that labels separate us, like you had mentioned, is when we try and tell other people how to label themselves.
Identity policing.
Yeah, whether it's people outside the community, whether it's people inside the community, that's when labels become a problem, is when someone tries to tell someone else, no, you know, oh, you like that pair of shoes? Not a lesbian.
if you like your zest, that's it.
Because I think that's really my main issue with labels, because as like a transgender person who is also non-binary, there are a lot of people who think that I can't identify as both at the same time, or because I don't experience a lot of body dysphoria, they say I'm a transgender, which is to me the most disgusting term that has been coined inside the LGBT community. I think it's toxic. I think we should just learn to love everyone inside of the community.
Hi, how do you kind of go about correcting friends and family members when they say things that are kind of like, why vote for trans? Because it's like, it's easy to tell a stranger if they even vote like piss off, but if it's like your model is invalidating the identity of like, you know, minority or trans or anything, it's like, I don't know, how do you go about correcting?
I'm so impatient. I'm always like, oh, I don't want to talk about this with you. You know, like, I can't do it. And I commend anybody that's like very like, how do you educate? Let's just sit down and have a talk about it. And I'm always like, I just, I don't know how to do it.
I don't believe in meeting people where they're at. So maybe they do have some internalized psychophobia or some bipolar thoughts or transphobia thoughts or things like that, or they don't use words that are totally politically correct. But if I feel like they're starting their journey to become more accepting and to learn more, that is what I try to focus on. Is I want to meet them where they're at and be okay with the language that they're using and kind of forgive them in that moment and gently tell them why those terms are problematic and hurtful and things like that. So, I don't know, I feel like meeting people where they're at makes advocacy accessible and less scary. I feel like a lot of times people are afraid to speak up because they're going to say something ignorant or offend someone, and I wish the conversation were more welcoming, more friendly, and less intimidating. So,
All of that was so true. I'm so glad.
So since I do comedy, I'm always walking that fine line between like what's okay to say and what's not okay to say. I almost always say the thing that's not okay to say. But like, for example, my friends back home, like we would go shopping. Most of my friends are female, so we would go shopping straight females, straight black females. We would go shopping or something like that, and then we'd be, you know, in the women's section or whatever, and they'd make a joke like, you know, I don't dress like super feminine. And so they make a little joke like, hey, no, you don't shop in the boys section. I'm like, girl, why do you go here? You know what I mean? Like, it's like lighthearted, we're making a joke, but the more, and for a long time, I thought that was okay, and then I got on YouTube. I learned a little bit more about that, and that is a form of transphobia. And I just said, get a comment, and I left it at that. I said, you know what? I don't like when you say that kind of stuff. This is what it means. You can take it or leave it. You can choose to change if you want to. It's not that big of a deal, girl. I like, you know, panties too. I go to the women's section too. We can both shop for 21 split. I get it. But sometimes I think, I don't know. I just comment, and subscribe.
Just to speak on that a little bit in terms of like different forms of media that we can use. I knew going up to YouTube that comedy was never going to be my thing. Education I wasn't passionate enough about, but the thing that really like, when it comes to the being a queer person, I don't know if I want to use it right now, but whatever. In terms of being who I am, I knew that fashion was the thing that I could perfectly express. Like I had a very unique experience coming through my identity, and fashion was a big part of it. So I think that we all find our different, I guess, verticals or our different like categories or whatever that we can all kind of like contribute to and help us better express kind of the I don't know, like the everyday experience that all of us in this room experience. So whether it's through art, whether it's through comedy, whether it's through education, whether it's through fashion, I think that the most powerful thing, the most radical thing that we can do is to create, is to actually continue to make work, continue to put it out there in the world and say like, hey, like whatever the fuck, we don't like this, but this is something that I'm going through, and this is something that I think can actually make a difference, so I'm going to continue to do it. That's a very radical thing to do, and I commit shout out to you for actually doing that. So
I'm a dancer and a choreographer, and in the dance world, it's very common to have a male partner and a female partner. So I've been working on choreographing a piece, a ballet piece, which is I've never seen in my entire life, with two lead females. That's classical ballet, I've never seen it, so I'm hoping that it's dope.
and where can we see this?
I'm choreographing it and I'm going to submit it to some festivals, so we'll see, but it's still in the early stages yet.
I think it's important to tell your own story too, though. Like, you have to tell your own story through your eyes and through your mouth. I feel like it's with YouTube, for example, like it's very easy for me to go into like the comedy vertical and like be inspired by all these different people, and instead of creating my own iteration of what they did or like something that's different from what they did with their own voice, I just kind of replicated what they did. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes when you get inspired by somebody, you tend to do the same thing rather than through your own vision. So I think that sometimes like, I don't work with stuff all the time. Like the production value of my videos is trash. So like I always try to like I always overthink how can I make this look cool, maybe I can put swooping angles and and I'll overthink it to the point where it's like oh, I created this video and I achieved what I wanted, which was to up the production value to up making it look better, but now it's not funny, I'm not passionate about it, like I kind of that's me too. I do the same shit. Yeah. So I think like don't overthink it, and if you're focusing on what your passion is, it'll just come. Like it's gonna come, and that's what's gonna resonate with people.
So I typed this out because I'm anxious and I stutter. Cool. So as a queer POC, I don't really see that many positive voices of people like me out in the media or YouTube. What do you think the steps are to let the voices of queer people of color be heard more?
That's for us. I'll say this one. I guess this is like almost kind of what I was telling her. It's just, I know like if I want to educate people, which is something I eventually want to do, but one, I have to learn about it, and two, I have to get myself in a position that people are going to listen. And the only way that I can able to do that right now, using YouTube specifically, is to use what I'm good at and what people are resonating with. You have to build an audience, a genuine audience, first of all. I feel like a lot of people on YouTube like will have these like huge, massive amounts of subscribers, but they're not that genuine of a group of supporters. For example, if someone had 1 million subscribers and they have a meetup somewhere and 5 people can come, and those are going to be the 5 people that really take their message and really like them, whatever. have more influence in order to do that.
You're so welcome. This isn't gonna feel good. Frankly, it's existing. And it's existing in spaces where you won't see people that look like you won't hear voices that sound like you at all, and yet you just have to be there, and you have to like kind of pave that ground for other people out there. Like I can't tell you how many times I've been at meetups, conventions, etc., and I'm the only person of color at these events. But even though in my head I'm like, oh shit, like here we go again. Make sure you smile, make sure you show face. I know in my head that it's like there's a there's definitely like a sense of anxiety. There's a sense of performance that doesn't feel good. But I know that it's important. I know that it's powerful, and I know that I have to be there because if I wasn't, who else would be? You know. So it doesn't feel good, and it's not the it's unfortunately it's just work it's work. It's work. It's work that needs to get done, and that's why Foxy and I are here right now. I remember when I got the email, I was like, oh shit. Am I gonna see like anybody like me at all? Can I show up in my like 10s? Like what is this gonna be like? But I knew that if I didn't go, that there would be one less person of color that was there, and one less spot that was filled by someone that looks like me, and who's also here to kind of inspire other people out there that look like me. So.
Being like the only one or the 1% in the room, it's unique. It makes us unique. That's why a lot of people think that it's a negative thing. Oh, I'm the only one. I'm alone. It's like, well, you can stand out. You're actually unique. There's a reason why you're right here. You know, that's why we have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's just what it is. And the crazy part about it is that, like, we don't know how long it's going to last. It can last our entire life. As of right now, 24 years old, I can say that I've been going through being like the only one or the one in the room that's not like the rest of them. For the last 24 years.
Yep.
So it's almost like we've kind of been built. I don't know, it feels like it's weird to say, but it's true. Like we've been built for it.
asexuality is being more valid when they get older. Like, oh, I thought it would be like, oh, you're 18, you probably know yourself by now. Okay, cool, you're asexual. But I'm still getting this, oh, you're not asexual, you're just a girl, and girls don't have sexual orientation, or like sexual, like, attraction. Like, first off, stop misgendering me. Second off, stop being a terrible human towards asexual people. Like, asexuality is real. Like, I haven't figured out a solution to this yet, other than to just, every time I turn another year older, I keep reiterating on my channel, I'm asexual, I'm this age, I've been asexual since this age. For some people, it might be a phase. Like any sexuality, you can identify with any sexuality for a period of time. And that's valid. It's okay to feel one way for a period of time and then feel another way later on in your life. That doesn't make the first identity less valid, but there are people who identify as asexual their entire lives. So I think that one thing we can do is uplifting other creators online who are asexual and who are older maybe, and like, they've identified this like their whole lives or whatever, to be like, this is a thing, this is like, people identify it as this, people, we're not broken, like, another, well, I don't know. I want to talk about something, but it's probably too short for anyone to know my guess. Like, there's a lot of misconceptions about sexuality and how we come to our identities. We just haven't found the right person yet, or we are just too young, or we're female, or females who don't have attraction. Like, I thought we'd be like that in like the 1900s. I mean, it's stupid. Sorry, it's not cool. I validate you, any asexual person in this room. I validate you. You're cool. Not experiencing sexual attraction is a valid thing, and I support you all.
Can I say thank you all so much for being here, like, and supporting us, because you guys are really like our main motivators and inspire us, and you really keep us going. So shout outs to everybody in this room right now. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. So a round of applause for all of you.
I would just like to say, don't be afraid to take up space.
Ashley, with the inspiring outro.
Your identity is valid, whether you're ace or non-binary or transgender or whatever. If you don't like labels and love labels, you're valid. And you're beautiful, and there's a room full of people who want to love you, want to learn more about you, and want to support you. And we're all a beautiful rainbow. Yeah.
Well, it's 12, so